Hi guys, this is Paige. I want to make this video sharing Kenzie Moore's artwork. I had given her symbols of the things God would speak to me through, and she wanted to paint certain things for me, which was very sweet of her. Here's a cake she drew for me, and this is so interesting because I never told her that God speaks to me through cake. God just had her make that. Remember I told you how God told me he wanted me to have the full cake and eat it too? Not crumbs of affection, meaning his full love. He had her make that for me without her knowing that. Here you have the blue. It's like his eye. Here's the candy cane. This looks like a top hat. God speaks to me through top hats. Tells me I symbolically wear one. It just means power. Also sprinkles. Sprinkles mean for me celebration. There's also verses in the Bible about the sprinkling of Christ's blood. It's kind of like God telling me his blood is on me and to celebrate that. Here's a starfish. They mean infinite divine love. It has 5 sides. God likes to speak to me through the number 5 or 55 or 555. It means God's grace and love. Here you have coral. Coral for me means royalty and immortality. I'm immortal. All God's children are immortal. We'll never die. When we die, we will rise again. That's what I mean by immortal. And it's green, which represents, for me, I would think prosperity, and the red represents the blood of Christ. Here's a picture of ballet shoes. God likes to speak to me through ballet. I used to do ballet when I was young. I at one point wanted to be a ballerina. He'll speak to me through ballet. He speaks to me through umbrellas. I'm underneath his umbrella. Here's a door. Jesus Christ knocks at the door and we open it. This is very interesting. I just shared that video of Shiny, the Superstar video, where there were windows and the windows had blue curtains and it represents God's eye. Here it is again. I don't believe she even drew that, meaning to do that, but that's how God is. He's very secretive and he's in everything. Here's like a cross too. It represents like his eye looking at me from the window. Here's curtains. God will speak to me through curtains. Curtains just mean for me kind of like I'm on stage or I'm a star. You know how they have the red curtain, that sort of thing. Here's fruit. God tells me I bear fruit. You know, all God's children bear fruit. When we serve him, we make colors in the spirit. It's rainbow colors. And fruit is all the color of the rainbow. Here's watermelon. He likes to speak to me through watermelon. Watermelon's my favorite fruit. It means prosperity. You know, it's red. Usually red things for me represent the blood of Christ. Here's strawberries. He likes to speak to me through strawberries. They mean his righteousness. There was a drama God had shown me. The girl's name was Hannah, which means grace or favor. And in Japanese, it means flower. And she was wearing white with strawberries on her, which means, you know, it's like the candy cane, but the strawberry means righteousness too. And the man in it loved her very much. He gave her a cross and told her he would protect her and the cross would protect her. I believe God inspired that for me. There was also a part where he was looking at her through a window. They were touching through a window, like touching hands. Here's apples. God will speak to me through apples, telling me I'm the apple of his eye. And it's like he gives me an apple. Apples represent teaching and admiration for teaching. It's like him saying he's pleased with me, that I follow his direction, I teach. Here is a picture of a unicorn. God shows me, he exalted me like the horn of the unicorn. Unicorns actually represent Christ in a hidden way. Here's a rainbow. We make the rainbow and there's hearts. God likes to speak to me through. They just mean love. And the cross. Here's a jewelry box. God likes to speak to me through the jewelry box. He tells me I'm like the ballerina in the box. You know, we're all God's ballerinas, his daughters. We're like little ballerinas. We're very small, you know. Here's the jewelry box, and here's jewelry. God's given me jewelry to honor me. Here's the ruby jewelry. Rubies for me would represent I'm high above rubies. You know, I'm like God's ruby or his jewel. And virtuous women are far above rubies. Also, here's turquoise. God's given me turquoise symbolically. It's very personal for me because it's my birthstone. It's the birthstone of December. God's very personal. It also means his eye. It's like his eye on me, or I'm the apple of his eye. It means serenity. Turquoise also means protection. He gives me protection. And here's just like a pink one. Okay. Pink kind of like represents femininity things. Here's roses. God likes to speak to me through roses. You got the red rose. Jesus Christ is the rose of Sharon. The red one represents romantic love and passion. The white one represents purity. He likes to show me these together. It means the candy cane, his righteousness. Here's a pink one. It's like the red and white mixed, makes pink. It's a representation of the candy cane. He tells me I'm like the pink one, which means innocent romantic love. And it's like I'm very feminine, you know. This is meant to be like a purple one. It looks black on screen, but it's purple. The purple one means royalty. And here's the blue butterfly. The butterflies he speaks to me through. I had a dream of the blue butterfly. It means have joy over my love for you. This one, the monarch, means transformation. The yellow one means hope, but now it also means for me, you are my sunshine. This one is green, which represents prosperity. And here's just a close-up of the monarch one. It means transformation. Here's the lily of the valleys, you know, the flower with a pink butterfly. Pink butterflies mean don't worry. God likes to show me the pink butterfly a lot. The lily of the valley, God said, I am the rose of Sharon, and the lily of the valleys. The lily of the valleys is a bell-shaped flower. God showed me I'm like a bell. I sound like a bell to him, a beautiful bell. And he is like a bell, symbolically. And it means purity. Don't worry, because you're pure in me. And ring your bell. Here's crosses with a dove. The dove represents the Holy Spirit, and here you have a moon. God tells me I'm like the moon to him. Moons actually look like a big pearl. He tells me I'm like his pearl. Here's another rainbow. You know, rainbows also mean God's promise, and we make rainbow, and we bear fruit, which is all the color of the rainbow. Here are mushrooms God likes to speak to me through, the red and the white. It's something fairies sit on. It means prosperity. It means blessings. And it also means righteousness, his righteousness, because it's the candy cane thing. It's like fairies sit on it. He showed me I'm like a fairy to him. It's just a joke. It's a cute little thing he does. And I sit on this symbolically, like I'm in his rest, his righteousness. And I'm like Tinker Bell. She's like a little fairy. She's a fixer of pots, and her voice is like a bell. Here's one she made for me. I didn't tell her this. God had her make it as a surprise for me. Here's these represent stars. I'm like God's star, and here's the moon. But the tiger I never told her about. The tiger has blue eyes. She made him have blue eyes, and it's like pink and purple. I believe God's telling me through this. It's kind of like he was showing me I have the eye of the tiger. You know that saying, the eye of the tiger? It's like saying I'm a predator to the devil. Also, God's eye is blue. It's like he's a predator, I'm a predator, and I have his eye. It's like I'm the apple of his eye. I believe that's what he's saying. He might speak to me more through that. There might be more things for me with that. But yeah, thank you, Sister Kenzie, for making all this for me. Very sweet of you. All right, love you guys. Bye.